Three, two, one. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dragons Fan Guy podcast. We are returning after a 2-month break on personal reasons, and I'm joined by a special guest. Hold the ball if you'd like to introduce yourself, mate.
Yeah, look, first and foremost, man, I just want to say thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor, and I thank you for having me. And I'm looking forward to today's show, and I'm going well, and I cannot wait to see what's in store for us tonight.
So we'll kick it off with: do you think Joseph Sawi will make it in rugby union?
Yeah, so you asked me what my thoughts are on
Yeah.
Joseph Swali
The
going to
whole
rugby union.
situation. The whole situation, yeah.
Yeah, look, thanks for asking that. I'll be honest, I really don't give rugby union much of a thought. I don't, yeah. I'm probably one of the biggest union haters you'll ever see, in all honesty. Look, he's a young lad. He wants to make some coin. He's found the perfect opportunity, right? So you can't fault him at that fact. Now, I will say, though, conversely, on the other side, the NRL media have really made a fool of themselves. And if anything, they've just given the rugby union free publicity, more publicity, by the way they're carrying on like silly hooligans, if you will. Instead of just accepting it and moving on, they've said stupid things, silly things, sorry. And yeah, my thoughts on it, good on him. But look, I expected better from the NRL media. But yeah, myself personally, I don't really give two rats about rugby union. No.
No, I don't watch it. I've only watched little highlights of it over different years. But I think for the money side of it, I think it's good for him. But I do think we'll see him definitely back in the NRL at some point. It's okay. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not a Roosters supporter, so I can't really talk for them. But I think for him, for his sake, it might be good. But I don't know where they play him, if he continues on the wing over there or at fullback. But we'll see how it goes for him. But I'm sure in the next 5-6 years we'll see him back here. Hopefully at the Dragons, but we'll move on from that question. How are you going with the new Warriors season, and how are you going with it all? Yeah, I'm sure you'd be quite happy with it.
I'm happy, but I suppose as a Warriors fan, we also practice trading cautiously around things, right? You got to remember.
Same.
Yeah, you got to remember. Although it looks great, there's been a lot of years where unfortunately things haven't gone well for us. I can't speak the same for. I mean, obviously being a Dragons fan, on the other end, you know what it's like to win a premiership, right? As recent as 2010. So
Yep.
if we could trade spots, I would do it in a heartbeat, right? So although I really enjoy what's happening now with the Warriors, and I'm happy and stuff, I still need to draw and hold back because, yeah, we just want to see the ultimate result, right? But this is good. It's always good to build blocks and to build a foundation and sort of go from there.
And as an outsider, I was thinking that I felt bad for the Warriors over the last few years with the whole thing with COVID and the isolation and having to relocate. And I don't think we've seen the best of your juniors yet, with their development kind of stunted. I think that's a good enough word to use for it. I think you'll get to see a lot more of them. People like Tom Ale, who I've been quite impressed with, that's been, I think, on your bench all this year. And I think we'll see a lot more of him. And I've been liking him, and I think Andrew Webster has done well when I didn't really hear of him before. He joined the Warriors, to be honest. I've kind of heard the name, but I'm happy for the Warriors that they're going well. I don't hate any club except the Rabbitohs and the Sharks, but I don't. I think the Warriors, I'm hopeful they go well, except when we play them. But But no, I'm hopeful that you'll make the 8 with us. Hopefully, I think. No, I think your signings have been good, and I've been really impressed with all of them, and especially my mate Jackson Forward, who I kind of close with. I regularly message him and that type of stuff, and I'm happy for him. And what's your thoughts on all the signings?
Yeah, look. I'm happy with the signings. You know, it's kind of funny there, Dragons fan, guy, because I was actually going to ask you a question, and I suppose
Yeah.
I may as well throw it now to you. What are your thoughts on Jackson Ford playing well for the Warriors? There was an article as well that came out today. Just to summarize it, it talks about how he's basically got the motor of a horse, right? A horse, the stamina of a horse. He does not run out of stamina. Point being, he said that he was used better, just to paraphrase, at the Warriors than he was at Dragons. How do you feel seeing this Jackson Ford, knowing that potentially he could have been that Jackson Ford for you guys, but it just didn't pan out that way? How do you feel about that, if you don't mind me switching the table and turning it?
I don't mind as well. You can ask me as many questions as well, mate. But no, I've always liked Jackson Forward personally, and I haven't actually had him on the show, but I've talked to him via video call and met him at games and that, and I think he's a really nice guy. And I felt bad that we didn't really use him for the last few years properly. I don't know why he wasn't played as much. I would have had him in my 17 on a regular basis rather than Cup. I think when I've seen him play Cup and for the Dragons, he was definitely top quality, and I'm happy that he's getting consistent NRL for the Warriors. It's a hard one, really, mate, but it's a hard one for me to talk about because I would love for him to be playing for the Dragons, but I think he's taken a good opportunity over there. And hopefully we'll get him on the show at some point as well. We'll work on that because he's busy, and it's same as you with the time difference in New Zealand. But no, I really like him, and I'm happy for him that he's playing consistent NRL. To be honest, I'm quite happy for him.
Can I just also add as well my 2 cents? So when Jackson Ford was actually announced, I was actually very happy he was announced. I know there was a few Warriors fans who were a bit skeptical with his selection, right? You know, they weren't too sure. Whereas for me, I was all gung ho slinging, right? I was like, you know what, this dude, he's gonna come in with a point to prove, right? He's gonna come in with a chip on his shoulder, so to speak, and he's gonna absolutely show us why he should be playing first grade NRL. And you know what? He's proven me right, and I am absolutely ecstatic that he's in our team. And it's only the beginning, literally, with Jackson Ford, and I cannot wait to see what the future brings. But I'm just happy he's with us for this transition period, which hopefully will bear some fruits.
We also I think it was about 2 months ago, we had Braden Willa-Army on the show. So another one that played for the Dragons as well, that I'm happy that he's playing first grade, but I don't know. I think he's injured now, or something. I'm not really sure, but he's been good. But those 2 guys I'm really happy for. I definitely think he'll play a lot more NRL if he stays injury-free. But I think that the Warriors, the squad has got enough depth than over the last few years. It's a better looking squad all up. And it's also good in the sense that if he goes down, I guess Tohu can go in there and do a good job as well. But yeah, so that's actually the next question. What are your thoughts on Tohu Harris this season?
He is a player that earns and attracts a lot of respect, I think, and not just from Warriors fans, right? I think it's as a whole in our community. I think a lot of fans from different teams do respect him a lot. My thoughts on Tohu Harris this year, I am really impressed by his work ethic on the field, followed by his leadership. He's someone that I suppose I can say I've grown to like. I haven't been his biggest fan in the captaincy department, that is. However, I'm slowly understanding what he brings to the team in that aspect. Overall, though, absolutely pleased. Look, it's just about him sort of staying injury free. And it's a bit touch and go at the moment. We're a game against the Sharks, so we'll have to see how that goes, how that pans out.
And as well, because I look up to him and I highly respect him as, starting playing football for myself. He's one of the guys that I look out for while I'm watching the Warriors play to see what he does and if I can, take something from it. And hearing him talk, he's always very respectful and always very knowledgeable and come from a good system with the Storm as well. And I hope he plays this game against the Sharks. And to think about it, if someone had told me the Sharks and Warriors game could be one of the games of the round a couple of years ago, I wouldn't have believed them, mate. If you know what I mean. But now it's both teams are red hot. It's unfortunate that Tamara Martin's down, but Volkman's really good, and hopefully it works out. I tip the Warriors, but we'll move on to the other question. What is your favourite moment in NRL for you? Like a moment that stands out to you?
Look. Okay. If there was a moment that stood out for me recently, that is, in the last couple of years, I'll say it was the Warriors game against the Raiders in round 3 in 2018, where we were playing over in Canberra. And Shaun Johnson slotted, it was about 2 or 3 minutes left to go. I'm not sure if you remember this game, you may or may not, but it sort of started our win streak. Shaun Johnson kicked the field goal, and I think it was a minute left, and he actually kicked another field goal, and we won the game. That actually brought little tears. I was actually crying. It's sort of funny, but I was crying. I really appreciated the hard work the Warriors put into that game, because our backs were against the wall, right? And there was just so much to play for in that game. And granted, it was only round 3, but we had won our first 2 games. So the question was, could we win this game? And we came from behind, and we not only showed grit and determination, but we showed character, and something that unfortunately has been lost along the way due to COVID, whatever it may be. But I'm sort of seeing it again. But that was probably one of my more memorable moments recently as a league fan. Was just Shaun Johnson slotting those goals, and it played a little part in the season to a degree, but it was just such a big thing for me.
And I think there's many for me, but one of the most notable was last year. I'm going to remember exactly the round. Rabbitohs Dragons at Wing Stadium in Wollongong, when we smashed the Rabbitohs finally. That's a moment that I will always remember, and happy to be there and cheering. And that was one moment for me. And the first rugby league game I went to was, and actually it was an Origin game. So my first game was an Origin game. So New South Wales and Queensland in 2020. And that was a special moment for me, but those two stand out for me as well. And the other question, so we've only got these ones, mate. So I was going to make it look nicer, but I'm a little bit lazy sometimes. So,
okay.
So this is an article that has only come out in a couple of hours. I don't know if you've heard it, but the Tigers are considering making a $1.5 million offer to Mitchell Pearce to join the West Tigers to replace Luke Brooks, and Luke Brooks to join Catalan Dragons.
It's a car crash that you can't not watch. Am I right? You know it's going to be bad, you know it's going to be ugly, but you cannot turn away. The Tigers are reminiscent to a car that's going to fall off a cliff, and you just want to watch it fall off a cliff. You're okay with it. In all seriousness, though, just to sort of bring it back a bit, what are the Tigers thinking? With all due respect to Mitchell Pearce, what he's done for the game, Origin winner, New South Wales NRL winner. I think he's even played a few tests for the Kangaroos as well. But all due respect, this is not 2013. This is not 2007. This is not 2008. It's a whole different game here. And the Tigers are worse this year than they were last year. This is insane. I cannot believe that they're even contemplating this. It's a shock to the system, to me personally. Normally the rich get richer, I suppose. And I suppose in this case, for the Tigers, the poor are getting poorer. And that's just what we're seeing exactly. It is. I'm dumbfounded. It's bad move after bad move after bad move. And you know what? I'm here for it. Stuff it. Stuff you all, Tigers. Stuff you all, Mavericks. Yeah, it is what it is.
It's a confusing one for me because I feel like the Tigers since 2005 have gone down below the wooden spoon every year, but unfortunately it's not possible. So they've just kind of somehow stuck in. But I think if there was a level under the wooden spoon, the Tigers would have probably got it for the last, was it 12 years that they made the finals? 10 years? I don't know. I don't keep, but it's not the right move. Look, I think Brooks is over. I think they shouldn't keep Brooks. I think Brooks is a nice guy. Personally, I've met him. I think he's a nice guy, but I think his days are over, and I don't know if it's retirement for him, but I think a change of clubs, either if it's Super League or NRL, but I think for him it's over with the Tigers. And I mean, it's a bit upsetting in a sense to see him at the Tigers still. And I don't know, whole situation, so many coaches have been there the last 10 years. We've seen a whole heap. We've seen Ivan Cleary, with Jason Taylor's been there at a point. Brett Kamali, Maguire. Now we got, is it Tim Sheens and Farah and that? It's just a very confusing club to get a read on. And I really don't think they should go after Mitchell Pearce. Respectively, I do watch the Super League, and I think he's past his best. And he will turn 34 in 3 weeks' time. And so he'd be the oldest player in the competition. And he wouldn't have many years to go. And they're offering, apparently it's a 2-year deal. And so by the end of that deal, he'd be nearly 36, and I couldn't see him finishing out that contract. He's done a lot in the game, but if they want to replace him, I think they've got to go with someone younger. And I would be looking to target Toby Sexton from the Titans, who's a young halfback that I think under Sheens and Marshall and those type of guys, I think would be a better option. I don't know what your thoughts on that is, but...
Yeah, look, just to follow on what you're saying with Luke Brooks, he's a nice guy, I get it, but as we both know, unfortunately, in the game of rugby league, nice guys don't win you rugby league games, right?
Definitely
it's
not.
About good players. It's about good players. That's it. That's rugby league's a very ruthless sport, right? We all love a good guy, but that doesn't matter on the rugby league field. In saying that, though, yeah, look, I don't even think Luke Brooks will get another team. I don't think he'll play. If he's going to play, you'll pay him unders. End of story. Go to Super League's probably his best bet from now on. As to who you bring in, Toby Sexton, I think, is one. Look at some of the upcoming juniors as well from different NRL teams. I'm sure the Tigers can. But then again, the question is, do you want to play for the Tigers? And
hell no.
In all honesty, if you were to pick between the Tigers or the Dolphins, I think you'll pick the Dolphins. And I think that's saying a lot. So I rest my case.
Yeah, it's just a hard team to get a read on, and you kind of want them to succeed, but it's just one of those things where it's really hard to. We won't dwell on them too much, but the last thing I'll bring up with them is, do you think Api Coruscant is regretting his decision now, going there? this early on?
No. Do you know why? Because he's
No.
achieved all he has in the game of rugby league, in NRL. Sorry, he's there for the money, right? He's there for the money. He's getting paid good bucks. He's not even getting the blame, as we can see in the media. He's actually the guy that the media is actually telling other players to try and aspire to be in the team. Follow him, follow his lead. You know what I mean? No, no, I don't think he's regretting it personally. I think he's loving it. He's just focused on his job. He's getting his bag. It is what it is.
Yep. So we'll leave the Tigers at that because we could talk about how bad they are for so long. We could have about 5 or 6 pages of this. But the other question I've got for you is, do you think from now onwards we should have a Super League team compete in the pre-season trial from now onwards?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I like the addition of St. Helens competing and obviously shocking the rugby league world, if you will, beating the Panthers. I think it's great. It's a great idea.
And I was not at the Penrith one. I was at the Dragons one, the first one, and I thought it was a good initiative. But I'd like to see them maybe play a different team each year instead of just the Panthers. But I like the idea of it. The other question I've got for you, mate, is now, what is your favourite NRL stadium?
I have had the privilege of watching rugby league in about 3 places, I think. One being in Auckland, where I've watched Mount Smart. I've watched them at Eden Park. I've watched in Hamilton as well, Waikato. And I've also watched an NRL game in South Australia, in Adelaide, when the Roosters at Storm played. Beautiful game, by the way. And I've also been to Brisbane, Suncorp Live, all right? It is without a doubt, in my opinion. And I haven't been to Bankwest. I haven't been to New South Wales watching rugby league. I've been to New South Wales, but I haven't watched a game there. And I hope to get to it sometime soon. But in my opinion, bro, Suncorp Stadium just takes my breath away. I still remember the first time I went to that stadium, bro, and last year, and I literally felt my breath slipping away from me. I was in awe of the beauty, the aesthetics. In my opinion, that is my best stadium I've been to is Suncorp Stadium.
I'd have to go Win Stadium, but I haven't been to many stadiums yet, so maybe it's a little bit biased. But I've only been to Cogra and Combank and Win. But I would love to go to Mount Smart. That's actually New Zealand's my dream holiday destination. And every time the Mount Smart game's on there, the stadium always looks really good. It's always a nice looking ground. Even when they travel across New Zealand, it always looks lovely. And I hope to go there and hope if I do go there to watch a game there. Big fan of New Zealand. So I also go for New Zealand in the cricket. So even though Australian, I go for New Zealand. So I know I'm pissing off my mate Cooper. He'll go off at me for saying that. But yeah, it's a lovely place. So
no, look, I thank you for saying that. Mount Smart Stadium is a beautiful stadium, and in my opinion too. It's wonderful. You love it. It's fresh, green, it's clean. It's got a very open feel about it. Very beautiful. So you'll definitely enjoy, watching the game there. And thanks for the nice words there for sure.
If you could pick one sponsor to join your club, who would it be? And it could be any company you want, or brand, or.
That is such a gangster question. I'm not gonna lie, that is so good. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'll just quickly say this. I love Puma. So Puma is obviously, we're sponsored by Puma. I love that. But I reckon another brand as well. If we were to be sponsored by another brand, I reckon I wouldn't mind probably like like one of the fast food places, like KFC or McDonald's or Hungry Jack's, something like that, Burger King, something like that.
Yeah. I think you had Wendy's, didn't you? I think it's still.
Yeah,
I don't
Wendy's,
know.
but hey,
I don't.
I'm more of a Burger King, Hungry Jack's person.
I haven't been to Wendy's before, so I can't. I prefer a Hungry Jack's, but there's not many around down the south coast. So, because I'm from the south coast in New South Wales, so really Macca's is the main one down here. But I think for me, I think I already said it on a video. I'd love to have Arnott's, especially maybe get some sponsors on here, maybe some Tim Tams to come my way. But I think Arnott's would look nice. But as another comment with the Warriors, I've always I love the Dragons design of the jerseys, but I've always liked the Warriors design. As well, I think this year they've nailed the jersey design. I really like it as well. And they're always Warriors and Dragons always, I think, have really nice designs. But yeah, I'd go Arnott's or maybe Coca-Cola. They've sponsored everything else, Coca-Cola, so be nice. But yeah, but I agree with you, mate, as well. If you'd like to comment on what I said as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I prefer Pepsi over Coke, so I'd actually go for Pepsi personally. I like the Arnott's idea as well. Sure, why not? I'm a cookie fan myself. Too much, actually. Probably
Yeah,
more than I
so
should. I love the cookies, so yeah, bro. Keen as and down with that for sure.
So another question I've got for you, mate, is with the Warriors now back at home, do you think that that their NRLW side will be a great addition now again? Now it's all sorted, and are you looking forward to them having a NRLW side once again?
Absolutely. I mean, look, obviously, the growth of the game for the women's is really important, very integral as well to the very fabric of the Warriors rugby league. You don't have to watch the women's game as well to understand what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Look at the Dragons, look at the Eels, look at the Roosters, so on and so forth. The women's teams that play. It's so pivotal and vital, and absolutely yes. I think with everything that's been done, they're absolutely ready and chomping at the bit. And I think not only does it give obviously New Zealand and the women there as well a chance to play, but also gives Australians, right, the Australian girls who probably can't, or probably don't have the opportunity to perhaps have a try at moving to New Zealand and playing there. Like, for example, your Jackson Fords and your Viliamis, so on and so forth. So there's opportunity everywhere and it's abundant. So hopefully it happens soon.
Yeah, I think because the expansion of the game, the Warriors will definitely be good for them to be back, because we know from when they had a W's team that the talent from New Zealand is always very good, and hopefully now the Warriors being back in New Zealand that they can keep all the young talented players instead of them coming all the way over here and that. But yeah, I'm happy for the Warriors that they're back in the New South Wales Cup as well, and is it the Jersey Flag and the SG Ball, I think, as well. So that's good to have all of that back on. And I watched it. I think it was the Bulldogs and Warriors Cup game, mate. I don't know if you probably didn't see it, the Cup game before, and that was good to watch. So we'll move on to these are the last final questions, mate. We're at 29 minutes, so this is the time for you to ask me anything you'd like as well, mate. And you can ask me for anything but a kidney. Anything but a kidney.
Oh, rats, because that's exactly what I was actually going to ask for. Let's go. I'll change
Just
this
kidding with
question. It seems to me in this conversation, you got a lot of respect for the Warriors, which I really can sense and appreciate. Are they like? Do you have a soft spot for them or no?
Oh, a little bit. I'm happy when they win and that, but I'll always be a Dragon supporter from.
Oh, of course.
But,
Dragons will always be your team, but
But no,
Yeah,
I like the
besides the
Warriors, and
Dragons, you have a soft spot.
I've
Yeah,
got I've got a soft spot for the Warriors and the Eels. My uncle's a big Eels supporter, so got a little bit of a soft spot for them. I always bring up 1986 and always joke with him about that, how long it's taken them. But no, I have a soft spot for the Warriors and the Eels as well. So yeah, as well, and yeah, I'm happy to answer pretty much any questions as well, mate, about the Dragons or just football in general, because it's why I love doing this podcast, to
yeah,
just to talk to different people and get their different opinions about the great game, and either Super League or NRL or AFL or basketball. I'm an open book to talk about all of that type of stuff as
yeah.
well.
I watch a bit of NBA. I watch NBA. I watch AFL. I follow the Fremantle Dockers just quietly. Look, just one question with the. Oh, there you go. Yep.
I go for the Bulls and the Bucks, so I go.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool. Last, just probably one more question for me as well before I sort of head to skedaddle, so to speak.
Yep.
How do you feel about the Dragon season so far?
It's not going the way I thought it has. It's a hard one. It's a hard one for me to talk about, because after that Titans game and about the first 60 minutes of the Broncos game, I really happy. It's a hard thing. We've always kind of done it where we start off really well and kind of just fade away, and all the drama with the coaching stuff coming up again. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm still hopeful. I always will support the club, win or lose. So it happens, and you got to take a loss as well. It's part of the game of rugby league or sport in general. There's always going to be two teams out on the field, and there's always going to be a winner and a loser, and kind of have to accept it and take the positives out of the game, and just enjoy watching your team. And that's kind of my philosophy as well when I go to Dragons games or I watch it on the TV as well. So,
Thanks for that.
and the final question of the night, mate, is if you were stuck on a deserted island and you could only pick one NRL player to be with you and one NRL coach to be stuck with, who would you pick?
Does it have to be a dude? No, sorry.
No, it
Okay,
doesn't.
okay.
It doesn't.
No, I kid. Look, in terms of just having a general yarn and stuff, hey, man, I would like somebody who's funny, right? Somebody who's funny who can converse. Probably. I don't know. That's a tough one. I think. Oh man, probably someone cool, someone gangster. I reckon. Josh Curran for mine. Probably Josh Curran. I'm a big fan of Josh Curran, or even. Who's it for the Dragons? Sorry, give me 2 seconds. Lomax, I wouldn't mind Lomax as well. Yeah, Lomax.
Yep.
He'll be
Yep.
cool. Sure, yeah, I reckon. So yeah, probably those guys. As for a coach, well, you want a coach who's basically very blasé and doesn't care, right? You don't want a coach that's going to be up at you every time. So I'll probably pick Tim Sheens. He's really relaxed at the moment. Everything's blasé, and he's pretty chill about it. So I'll pick him.
And I'd have to probably go with two players. I'd have to probably pick Martin Niokore, because I've seen that he does a bit of hiking on his Instagram account, and also seems a very interesting guy to talk to and be around. And I'd also go Nelson Asafa-Solomona, and as a coach, I'd go Wayne Bennett, because he's no nonsense, and he'd be good to talk to, but he'd be wouldn't be always very happy. But yeah,
You'd be doing laps. You'd be doing laps around the island for 4 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, I still have a soft spot for Wayne, only coach to get us a premiership. So, but that about wraps it up, mate. And I thank you for joining us, and we'll keep in touch, and we'll get you on later on down the track after the Dragons and Warriors game, and that, and as well, if you'd like me to join your channel, I'm happy to as well. And yeah, if you'd like to tell people where they can find your information as well, feel free to.
Yeah, look, I definitely will. You can find me and Hold the Ball. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. Look, before I suppose, look, and saying that now we've got that out of the way, I just want to say thank you so much for hosting me. You've been a terrific host. I can see you've chosen your questions very accurate. You know, you've put in a lot of research into these questions. They've been fun questions, rugby league questions, just questions that have just been fun to discuss. And I just want to thank you for your effort and for being such a good host as well. So give yourself a tap on the back there. Thank you again for today. And yeah, you've done it. Oh man, yes. Let's go. Yeah, good on you, bro. Thank you again for today.
No, all good. And all right. Thank you everybody for the 5 viewers that stuck around, and that the video will fully be up, I think, within 24 hours on the channel, and Hold the Ball's YouTube channel will be linked in the description as well. So thank you everybody, and hopefully we'll be back next week, but peace out.